Hello and welcome to my Biobits assignment. My topic should be a very familiar one, as in the last 20 years these creatures have invaded the coastlines of New England and pose a threat to the older crab species around here. The introduction of these crabs has changed the dynamic of coastline regions in New England for many other species as well, some for better and some for worse. As research continues on the subject, we are able to understand more and more about the specific implications that the Asian shore crabs impose on our environment. To start, we'll take a look back to the 1980s to see the root of the problem. Asian shore crabs are a native species of the West Pacific and are common along the Asian coastline and even into Russia. So in 1988, when people reported the foreign species on the coast of New Jersey, there was a lot of confusion. After thinking about the matter, it was theorized that the crabs must have been sucked up into the ballast of a ship that happened to release the ballast and crabs on the New Jersey coastline. Unfortunately for the local environment, the crabs fit perfectly into their new home, and before anyone knew what was happening, the population of Asian shore crabs skyrocketed. With the sudden introduction of Asian shore crabs in the local environment, the traditional species such as the green crab, which was also once considered invasive, were quickly overpowered by the staggering numbers of the Asian shore crabs. According to Epifano in 2013, the new inhabitants displayed superior competition for space and food compared to the already established green crabs, effectively hampering their population. For crab-eating fish like the tautog and any other crab-eating species, this was an amazing introduction as they had more food than ever before. Fortunately for the green crabs, the Asian crab's exponentially growing population began to level out. According to Epifano, the species spread rapidly in the initial 15 years after its discovery, but new colonization has slowed since that time. Nevertheless, it is apparent that the Asian shore crab is the dominant species along the coast of New England. After the initial colonization surge of the Asian shore crabs, researchers began observing the species and began to brainstorm ideas that would control the population. In a recent study done by Griffin in 2020, he claimed that we show that energy, storage, and reproduction both increase with diet quality, while growth declines with diet quality. While this sounds bad for population control, it does affect the species from the inside out, and Griffin added, these results suggest that self-limitation may be a contributing factor to the recent declines of H. sanguineus at sites where this invader was once much more abundant. It seems as though the species is doing a good job at controlling their own population, which is good news for green crabs. With poorer growth rates, the Asian shore crabs may be subject to another self-inflicted population control, which is highlighted by Crane in 2021. Adult and large juvenile crabs consumed megalope, first-stage crabs and small juveniles, regardless of the presence of food. By the looks of it, Asian shore crabs have reached a point where they can't increase their population as much as they did years ago. With the recent observations made by researchers on the invasive Asian shore crabs, the outlook for the future appears to be relatively controlled. While the crabs won't be going anywhere anytime soon, the population seems to have leveled out by itself after the initial overpopulation in the first years when they were introduced. Maybe like the green crab, which was also an invasive species, the Asian shore crab can eventually reach a point where they aren't considered to be a threat to the coastlines of New England wildlife. Thank you for watching my Biobits video.